Donald Trump's State of the Union address last night was much like the actual state of our union, in disrepair because of Donald Trump's cognitive and physical decline. The man is obviously sundowning. He was lashing out, but the lashing out did not just stop with Donald Trump upset that Ilhan Omar and other Democrats were calling him out, because it continued into this morning when Donald Trump declared who he wanted to deport out of our Congress, including, for some reason, Robert De Niro. Donald Trump went on a Truth Social meltdown, recognizing his speech was a complete flop, and it might be because Donald Trump, or John Barron, as he likes to be referred to when he's calling in to C-SPAN or other media outlets, tuned in and saw what the folks at CNN had to say about him in these two clips that I think perfectly encapsulate how voters across the country felt about last night's address.
You did not like this speech at all. Tell me why.
I didn't like the speech because he did not talk about what he was doing to make our lives better. As Governor Spanberger said, is the president working to make our lives better? No. James Carville said, it's the economy. And it still is the economy. And he's not talking about that at all.
Wait, what about the Trump accounts? What about the tax cuts? Did that move you at all? Did that make you feel like he's on your side?
No. No, it did not.
Why not?
He talked about the health care plan. Where is his health care plan? People's health insurance premiums are going up. What is he doing for that? What is he doing for our seniors?
And just left you flat. But
the thing that I missed the most was a focus on the economy and looking forward. And Supreme Court struck the tariffs down, and he's going for another round of tariffs. And I also think that's the wrong direction. Tariffs cost our company a lot of money. Our costs are up, and we need to control our costs. And without raising rates, we can't give raises to our employees. We can't help them. So I'm stuck in that kind of vicious cycle of raise the rates, prices go up, raise the rates, and how do we continue that?
So he didn't help you at all on the tariff stuff at all?
So I do not think that that's exactly what Stephen Miller and the speechwriters were going for. And we talked about this last night, both in the two videos I did and the live stream after, live from the Capitol. I was just a bit confused by the point of the speech in general. Donald Trump gave out a bunch of awards. He talked about fake accomplishments, but it wasn't really forward-looking. It wasn't really looking at the past either, unless he was talking about, well, quite frankly, Joe Biden, it's all Joe Biden's fault. I've been president for a year. I said I'd fix things on day one, but Joe Biden. And that was the speech. And it was 2 hours, the longest in history. So what was the point? I don't know. And I don't really think anyone else does. But Donald Trump tried at least to present himself as a well-meaning enough fake pseudo-patriot until the booze really got to him. And he decided he would scream at and attack Democrats, specifically Ilhan Omar.
Isn't that a shame? You should be ashamed of yourself not standing up. You should be ashamed of yourself. That is why I'm also asking you to end deadly sanctuary cities that protect the criminals and enact serious penalties for public officials who block the removal of criminal aliens. In many cases, drug lords, murderers all over our country, they're blocking the removal of these people out of our country, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
So the booze clearly got under Donald Trump's skin. There's a quiet defiance order from Democratic leadership that it looks like some took on, some didn't. I don't know. Donald Trump was upset that Democrats weren't clapping. Clearly, it got under his skin. It made him lash out. But those boos really got to him, and rightfully so. Donald Trump has had his standing military execute 2 Americans in the streets, and it will only continue unless the Democratic Party isn't quietly defiant, but actually does something about it. So, of course, the shouts of release the Epstein files and you're a murderer, which he is, got under Donald Trump's skin. But it continued into this morning and early afternoon because the sundowning president took those tiny little fingers of his to Truth Social and went on this meltdown. Trump wrote on Truth Social, when you watch low IQ Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib as they screamed uncontrollably last night at the very elegant State of the Union, such an important and quite frankly beautiful event, they had the bulging bloodshot eyes of crazy people, lunatics, mentally deranged and sick who, well, frankly look like they should be institutionalized. When people can behave like that and knowing that they are crooked and corrupt politicians, you're one to say, so bad for our country, quite frankly, we should send them back to where they came from as fast as possible. They can only damage the United States of America. They can only do nothing to help it. They should actually get on a board with Trump deranged Robert De Niro. Robert De Niro out of nowhere. Another quite frankly sick and demented person with, I believe, an extremely low IQ who has absolutely no idea what he is doing or saying, some of which is seriously criminal. So I guess we're deporting Robert De Niro now. When I watched him break down in tears last night, much like a crazy child would do, I realized that he may be even sicker than crazy Rosie O'Donnell, who is right now in Ireland trying to figure out how to come back to the beautiful United States. The only difference, while we are still talking about this, between De Niro and Rosie is that she is probably somewhat smarter than him, which isn't saying much. The good news is that America is now bigger, better, richer, and quite frankly stronger than ever before. Not true. And it's driving them absolutely crazy. President DJT. So let me get this straight. We're deporting Rashida Tlaib. We're deporting Ilhan Omar. We're deporting Robert De Niro because Donald Trump didn't have a very good speech last night. That's it. Because he is seeing the returns, he is seeing what voters have to say, and he is not particularly enjoying it. But I think it was bang on for Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar to speak up, to shout down at Donald Trump. Because if the goal was to get him to melt down, I think they have accomplished it pretty nicely. And Ilhan Omar decided that she'd continue to twist the knife and really make Donald Trump squirm with an interview she did on CNN, breaking down why it was so important to call out Donald Trump and why she's going to keep standing up to him.
It is our responsibility to protect Americans, and he does not acknowledge the fact that two Americans, two of my constituents, two of our neighbors were killed. And it was important for me to just remind the American people that the president and his administration was responsible for killing two American citizens.
With hindsight, Congresswoman, do you think you would have been better off boycotting the speech like so many other Democratic lawmakers did, or did you do the right thing by actually showing up there?
I brought 4 Minnesotans as guests for the Minnesota delegation. It was important for us to be there, to bear witness, to hold the space for our constituents that have lived through an occupation from federal law enforcement, that have been terrorized, that have seen our neighbors been killed and traumatized in so many ways. And so, no, I think it was really important for my constituents to see me there. It was really important to my constituents to hear that I was reminding the president that Renee Good and Alex Preddy were killed under this administration.
One of your guests, one of the guests that you brought to the State of the Union, was actually arrested by U.S. Capitol Police during President Trump's speech for allegedly disrupting the proceeding. Explain to our viewers, Congresswoman, what happened, and is she still in custody?
Yeah, you might remember Aliyah Rahman was the disabled woman who was headed to a doctor's appointment when ICE agents broke her window and forcibly dragged her, detained her, and she suffered a concussion, many broken bones, and it was really important for me to have her here. And as she said this morning, you know, at the State of the Union, you can do 2 things. One is to sit, the other is to stand up, and she chose to stand up. We know that she was taken to the hospital after she was detained. Now she is back and safe.
I'm glad she's safe. Congressman Al Green was escorted out of the House chamber just minutes into President Trump's State of the Union address for holding a sign reading, "Black people aren't apes." What was your reaction to that?
I mean, isn't it just a sad moment for our country when a member of Congress has to remind the president?
We did not hear the truth from our president. So let's speak plainly and honestly. And let me ask you, the American people watching at home, 3 questions. Is the president working to make life more affordable for you and your family? Is the president working to keep Americans safe both at home and abroad? Is the president working for you?
And I just want to be precise. Trump did not formally apologize at all for posting that picture of the Obamas, that horrible picture of the Obamas. He simply blamed one of his aides for doing that.
Thank you for that clarification.
Yeah,
I was just going to correct you on that one.
Very important clarification. How would you evaluate Congresswoman Governor Spanberger's response that we all heard last night? And do you feel that Democrats should embrace that sort of message in the lead up to the upcoming midterm elections?
Yeah, I mean, the governor is my former classmate. We came to Congress together, and I thought last night her remarks were so on point. It was an incredible contrast from the mumbling that we heard from the president that did not have a clarity on what the American people wanted to hear and how the American people wanted the president to address the State of the Union. And the governor was very clear. And to answer those 3 questions, I think every single American would probably probably answer that question at this moment, no. And I do believe it is important for us to keep bringing that point home. The president is not making us safe at home or abroad. The president isn't making our lives more affordable, and the president isn't doing anything to create any sort of stability for the American people.
Bottom line, Congresswoman, do you have confidence that your Democratic Party's leadership right now is prepared to take on President Trump and his agenda ahead of the November midterm elections?
The Democrats have been united. We are prepared, and we believe that the American people are going to be with us come the primaries in November.
We need progressives who are actually ready to take on the fight of Donald Trump. It is it's a refrain that I've heard a lot from the more centrist-y Democrats right now, that we don't need to talk about, centrist or progressive. We need to talk about fighters. But you cannot be a fighter unless you only fight for the people of your district and for Americans. If you're also fighting for your big, wealthy donors, you're not really going to be fighting. You're going to maintain a status quo that gets them and keeps them rich. That is just the truth. So we need fighters. I'm glad that Ilhan Omar used her voice, and I'm glad that she sent Donald Trump spiraling.